Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's some serious. Where my girls at? We ain't linked up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
Ooh, so serious. Where my girls at? It's going down. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, 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 Michael. Thank you for the round of applause. We got issues. Here we are, girlfriends, the course of friendship. Another day, here we go. Where can you find us? Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got issues. Yes, 9 to 10 a.m. The Superstation, based out of Detroit, Michigan, but we are all over the country. This is your host today, Sabrina Goodwin Monday, out of Geneva on the Lake, Ohio. We've got Caterina Harris Earl, sometimes in the San Francisco Bay Area and sometimes in the Chicago, Illinois area. She lives in two places, you guys. She got it like that. She is on the West Coast right now. And then we have First Lady Crisette Ellis out of the Detroit. And then we have our girlfriend Gloria Mayfield Banks out of Detroit, Michigan. She is in the air now, coming from the beautiful country of South America. She is in Colombia, been there for a couple of weeks, and she is headed home. So girlfriends, type your name in the chat. Friends all over the country. We are based out of Detroit, but baby, we are worldwide because it's a superstation. You can catch us on Roku. You can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us here, there, and everywhere. Make sure you go to www.theforceoffriendship.com. Well, it's another day. We're excited. Our special guest today is Mr. LaRese Purnell. He was major in bringing over 200 businesses together for NBA All-Star Weekend. When I tell you he is a brilliant financial mind, he's going to talk to us about entrepreneurship and financial literacy. So call in if you have any kind of questions about going into business, minding your money. They say if you mind your money will mind you. So call us at 313-778-7600. We're so glad you're here. We're sassy, we're classy, we're happy, we're messy, we're friendly, we're worky, we're techie. We're not gossipy. We try not to be gossipy. Bossy. We're bossy. We're hazy. We sometimes lazy. What else are we, girlfriends? What else are we? Call your name out.
Did you say crazy?
Okay, crazy. Sometimes crazy. Hey, Dietrich Epps, all the way from Durham, North Carolina. Type your name in the chat. Tell us where you're calling in from. East Coast, West Coast, points in between. Kat, I see you with your fedora on. How are you today?
Yeah. I'm channeling my Sabrina hat. You know, we had another photo shoot and I got every color hat. So yes, I'm gonna be rocking Sabrina's hat style. Okay.
Absolutely. I should have brought one of those hats on.
Let me go.
Katrina had about 10 hats, y'all. We were supposed to bring one hat for the photo shoot. This chick had a green one, a purple one, an orange one, a black one. Okay.
You never know, because at any given moment, 6 of them get I ended up sending some of them back, and I was like, okay, this was Crisette approved. Okay. One of them she wore in the photo shoot. I was like, oh, I really did good if Lady Crisette borrowed my hat, okay? Because we are always borrowing her stuff. Oh my goodness, it's a fun day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood over here. It's a lot happening. It's a busy day, but I'm telling you. Is anybody else? Am I the only one who realizes that a month from now? Speaking of entrepreneurs, I know he will relate to this. Folks that work for other people, you know, they do their taxes, they get their W-2, and then they do their taxes immediately. Entrepreneurs, am I the only entrepreneur that is like, oh snap, I got 1 month? Okay, I got 1 month, and we are getting ready to travel back-to-back weekends, and I'm going back to Chicago, doing this. I was like, you know what? I need to be getting my tax stuff.
I know. I talked to my accountant. I'm so glad I have an accountant. She called me today. She said, Sabrina, you have until the 22nd to give me your information. See, that's the kind of accountability I have. Because first she said she needed by Monday. I said, baby, I'm traveling. You will not have it Monday, but I will do my best to have it Tuesday. Okay. So I'm glad she gave me a deadline for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
It is upon us.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what's up in here is I got to do some taxes. So
yeah,
Crisette, looking gorgeous.
Hey, everybody. I'm excited to be here. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Oh, my goodness. Enjoying the sun that we have and expecting some warmer weather. So I'm excited. It's almost time to put up these sweaters and turtlenecks, and it's time to move into spring. And you guys, did I tell you that March is the best month of the year? You know, somebody's getting ready to celebrate a birthday next week. I wonder who it is. And I'm looking for a whole lot of birthday love, So I'm excited about my birthday. This is the month of spring. And it's just so interesting. You know, sometimes I'll go back and look at old pictures. And even though my birthday is the second day of spring, because spring comes in March 20th and my birthday is on the 21st, I went back, I look at pictures with my children when they were so young. They had on snowsuits, you guys, and playing in the snow, throwing snowballs in March. So, you know, in Detroit, that's one thing that we can say, you know, wait around a few hours or whatever, you can get all 4 seasons in a day. But, you know, I love me some Detroit, love me some Michigan. And it's a wonderful thing. You guys, we are still celebrating Women's History Month. And it is just so awesome that they take the month of March to celebrate women. And I was just thinking today about that and just watching a little bit. I didn't see a lot of news today, but one of the things I did see as I was watching, and they were just talking about, of course, we know Ukraine is taking up, you know, every time you turn on the news, that's what they're talking about, and just staying abreast of that situation. But one of the things they talked about is how many women are taking up arms, how many women are getting back on the train, leaving Poland and other places to go back to Ukraine to fight with the men. And I thought, wow, I am women, hear me roar. You know, so many times, you know, we think of women as being passive and, you know, they're running away from danger. But these women are running to the battlefield. They are like, this is our land, this is our country, and we're rolling up our sleeves and we are going to take up arms and we are going to fight those Russian invaders. So I just thought, wow, what a way to show the power of women, even in dire situations. And so I just said I wanted to mention that because this is the month that we celebrate women. And I guarantee you, when it's all said and done, and we don't know what the total outcome is going to be, but there are going to be some women at the forefront that they're going to say, this woman did this, she did that. They are going to play and they are playing a significant role there in the Ukraine. So I just had to give them a shout out on today.
For sure. Brave, courageous, strong, really incredible to see what's going on there. Our prayers continue to go up. You guys, honestly, when you just look at the news, you don't know whether to cry, pray, and I was talking to a girlfriend that said, we really don't know what tomorrow holds, but we got to know who holds tomorrow, because there's so much out there we just don't know. I mean, we don't know whether to pull all our money out of the bank right now and cash the stash under the bed, or we don't know. So let's bring our guest on, you guys. With no further ado, he's going to talk to us all about it. Let's bring Mr. LaRese Purnell in. Give him a round of applause. Yes.
Hello.
LaRese, let's give the people a brief introduction. You guys, LaRese, his bio says that he has 18 years of experience in business management, tax finance. He's the current co-owner and managing partner of Cleconsulting firm and accounting, tax and payroll company located in downtown Cleveland. He is a strong, innovative financial and strategic leader with both instincts and intellect, a formidable combination in the business world. He has served in executive positions leading business and financial departments within multi-million dollar for-profit and nonprofit corporations. I will tell you, I mean, honestly, you guys, he served on so many boards. He's the author of Financial Foundations, Building Financial Freedom, One Tool at a Time, where he uses everyday language to address the most fundamental questions people have about money. We love it when they can break down the fundamentals of the money, right? I cannot stand when they're talking gibberish all over my head.
Right.
I'm like, come to me, come to me. And so, Mr. Purnell, you guys, NBA All-Star Weekend, over $100 million was pumped into our local economy. And Mr. Purnell said the Black businesses have got to get a piece of that rock. And so he pulled together 200 businesses and created an expo of Black-owned and operated businesses. It was a beautiful thing. I was telling him right before the show, I was so grateful for that experience, being new to the area, living way out here in Geneva. I was so grateful to just be able to network and meet so many incredible entrepreneurs. And so many people had so many good things to say about you, LaRese. It was always,
thank you.
LaRese did this. LaRese put us together. So thank you for keeping your eyes on the prize, making sure that the community benefited. So we just are grateful to have you. We want to know more about your vision, how it came to pass. We go to break in just a few minutes, but give us an introduction of yourself.
Yeah, no, I mean, you are so kind. I'm just so happy to be on this show with you three, incredible women, especially during this very, important month. Every month is important for women in our community, but of course, as the world celebrates you all, I'm just glad to be on here. So again, LaRese Purnell, and I tell people I'm an entrepreneur, just working hard, not only just to make sure I leave a legacy for my family, but for those in our community as well. So I try to create platforms for people who don't have a voice. We have a responsibility as God gives us access to ensure that when we get room or a seat at the table, that we make sure we bring others that look like us along to play a part and to have the same opportunity. So that's just the work I try to do in a nutshell here in our community, and not just locally, but nationally. I want to make sure that the way I grew up, we struggled, and I laugh about it now. I tell my mother, I thought I had a lot of birthdays growing up because we had so many candles burning. We just didn't have no electricity. So y'all know what I'm talking about. But for me, why I do the work is because the way I grew up, living in homeless shelters, all throughout Cleveland, going to so many different school districts where I don't remember nobody from 6th grade down. I don't even remember because we traveled to different and lived in different neighborhoods. So for me, it's all about giving back and making sure that as God has given me this talent, to make sure that I impart this into our community so we don't have to, or they don't have to scrape their knees like my family did. So that's why I do the work that I do every day.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Tell us a little bit about NBA All-Star Weekend, Real Black Friday, how that concept was originated.
So you got to see the finished product, but don't ever get it twisted. When you saying black, 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 all across, every news station on different publications, that was not an easy task. It took a lot of long hours, sleepless nights, but it was no way that I was going to allow, the NBA All-Star to come into our city, a sport that is predominantly ran, by our community, from players to people who attend, to people who work in these arenas, to come into the city and we not take part in that economic, impact that the city was going to receive. So again, we talk about creating a table, and sometimes we have to create our own table. We're always so worried about getting access to somebody else's table, but we have enough authority in our community. $1.3 trillion is our spending power. So why don't we make sure that we generate and keep those dollars in our community? So again, I just didn't want that to come in our community. The last time it was in Cleveland was 25 years ago. At that time, I was still in high school, so I didn't, I couldn't afford to go downtown. So what I thought about was 25 years ago, that thing was right in my backyard, and my mother couldn't afford to take me and my siblings. So what I was not, one, going to let businesses not receive some of those dollars. Two, I wasn't going to let little Black kids that look like us, that this great event, historical national event, came into their backyards and they weren't able to participate. So it wasn't just about the businesses, but it was giving our entire community access to the experience.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I hear the music playing. That means we're going to take a break. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to commercial break. Got to pay some bills. We are with Mr. LaRese Purnell, businessman, entrepreneur, tax business. You name it, he does it. Co-owns a restaurant. You got to tell us all about it. We'll be right back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We got issues with the girlfriends, Sabrina, Caterina, Gloria, and Crisette. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Thank you for joining us, Tribe. We are growing, 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 and we are glad about it. Make sure you share, tag, tell somebody about this broadcast. We're growing. We're doing some amazing things, you guys. Spring is sprung. We pray the pandemic is on its way out so we can get back to our living life like it's golden. The pandemic has tried to keep us from being great, but we are doing the best we can. Speaking of being great, we have Mr. LaRese Purnell. He is just doing some amazing things in the Northeast Ohio area and beyond. Talk to us about financial literacy and the course that you teach and why entrepreneurship is so important to African Americans, LaRese.
One, we live, and Lady Crisette can speak to this. We're in a community where we fight between number 1 and 2 with Detroit, Michigan. And when we talk about poverty in our community, 2, that the pandemic is predicted that more than 40% of Black businesses will not be around post-pandemic. 3, I live in a city where it is one of the top 10 worst cities for Black women to own and operate their businesses. So again, just based on those statistics, we have a lot of work to do. So it's not time to play. It's time to get to work, roll our sleeves up, and educate our community so we can create legacies. So legacies are created in 2 areas in our community. 1, it's in home ownership. That is the biggest asset that most people will possess. 2, it is in entrepreneurship. When we own businesses, less than 15% of businesses that are in our community will make it to the 2nd or even 3rd generation. If I always ask people in Cleveland, if I ask you to name 5 businesses that have been around more than 50 years, people have a struggle. So I ask you the same thing for your communities. So again, unless we educate our communities, we're going to continue to fight against those statistics. And for us, the last statistic I'll give you is we possess our net worth per family is 10% of our white counterparts. Theirs is about $113,000. Ours is less than $13,000. And predicted in the next 5 years, if we're not careful, we will be at a negative net worth as a community. So again, if that doesn't tell us or activate or motivate us to make impact and educate our community, I don't know what else will.
Hey, Sabrina, I have a question. Thank you, LaRese, for being with us on today. When I tell you, I am absolutely leaning into this conversation. This is so good and so needed. You know, I was just thinking about the statistics that you gave and how important it is for us as a community to become educated. And, you know, I will say this, and maybe you can help us and tell us ways that we can get more of our community to be interested. You know, I think I was sharing with my girlfriends, it's probably been a while, maybe over a year, was definitely prior to COVID. We were doing some financial literacy classes at the church. And I mean, we had amazing speakers that were coming in to talk about, you know, mortgages, talk about savings. I mean, you name it, that's what we were talking about. And I will say, and it saddens me to say this, those were the least attended sessions. I mean, we announced it, we promoted it, we did everything but flip down the aisle at the church to get people to get invested. And so how would you suggest that we make a hunger for our community? And maybe it's just they feel like they don't have enough money to invest, and maybe they just think it's not going to help them based on where they are. So can you share with us how we can really get our community engaged in those kind of classes?
Yeah. First of all, congratulations for doing the work, because I feel like the ministry and the body of Christ has such a major part to play in that. Because you know better than most, Lady Crisette, people look to the church for everything, to be the hospital, to be the counselor, to be the financial advisor. You're everything. Right. So again, you know, that's probably been my biggest thing when I talk to ministries is you have to play a part, you know, in helping our community to come back and to break generational curses. But I will tell you, and I tell organizations, they ask me, One, and that was kind of a trick question. So I got to throw this out. Shameless plug. You haven't had me yet, but we'll go on, and I'll go ahead and answer your question now. But what I will say is we always say the community has to change. The community has to pivot their thinking. But I tell organizations we have to do the same thing. The way we delivered, 10 years ago, even 2 years ago, pre-pandemic, is not how you can deliver today. We deal with one of the most powerful things that we compete with every day and every minute is this thing right here. Every couple minutes, Instagram, something new comes out. New, innovative. So it's the same thing with financial literacy. It's the most needed thing in our community, but the most unsexy thing in our community. People don't want to talk about their problems. They don't want to talk about health. I'd say men, especially, our leg has to be falling off before we go see the doctor, and it comes to money. We have to lose it all before we're willing to have the conversation. So again, I just tell people in a simple way, you have to be innovative. When I go teach at ministries, I have a DJ on the stage with me. I'm playing videos, I'm engaging them. I'm using social media. Again, I can't deliver, they don't want to do is be bored. Finances is not fun. Nobody wants to hear about a will. Nobody wants to talk about credit. But if I could tell you how credit can make you money, then they'll listen. If I can tell you how to get that bag and secure the bag, then I want to hear. If my pastor will share and be transparent with me about how they've built wealth, then I'll listen. So again, everybody in our people follow winners. And if you're winning, you got to be able to show that success. So then it entices others to want to be a part. Why do you think people want to be, they follow NFL players? Why do they follow basketball players? Why do they follow celebrities? Because they see their success. So again, I know in that beautiful ministry there in Detroit, there's probably many successful people within that ministry. Let them tell their stories of how they started where they were, but they have garnered success with the hard work they've been able to do as well.
Thank you. That was excellent.
No problem.
Excellent. Caterina, did you have something? Oh, she's getting, okay. While she's getting her headset on, that stat took me out. Whenever I heard on the news that Cleveland was the worst place for an African-American woman to thrive, I got mad at my husband all over again. Like, why did you move me here? And what the heck? That's all I had to hear. And so you say that first, why is it so? And what can we do? You say we've got to make a difference and impact. What's the best way everyday citizens can make the community better?
So one, if we're talking about women directly, Black men have to stand up and support our Black women. That's just ultimately when I have a partner that's a Black powerful woman, Meltrice Sharp, and she's my business partner here at CLE. When we get on the phone, and I can just be in total transparency on this interview today, I will tell you, we'll get on, it'll be 7 men on there, and she will be talking and answering a question, and then they'll direct it back to me. And what I have to do as a Black man, not allow that and say, my partner was talking and she gave a statement, so you can direct that answer back at her so then she can respond accordingly. So again, we have to support our women in this community, and we have to make people respect the women, that sometimes they feel, I don't know if it's insecure, because one thing is I have a Black mother, I have a Black wife, I have a Black daughter, and Black women are powerful. And we have to embrace that. And they are the foundation of our community. Again, now we're going to go back to money. Y'all the ones who control all the money, too, in the household. Y'all control the spend. Y'all control where money is directed. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So we better get it right. But no, that's what I would say. And we talk about statistics. Remember, Black women, it's white men. Then it's it's white men, Black men, white women. Then it is Black women. From a pay perspective, on every dollar, Black women make 35 cents less than white men make statistically. So again, there's something that has to change in the mentality, and that even comes to education. So along when I'm teaching financial literacy, something that I put in when I'm going to HBCUs around the country is I'm teaching people how to negotiate. Well, we first didn't even know how to manage money, but now I'm going to teach you how to not only manage money, but how to negotiate your net worth as an individual. So a lot of times we don't know what to ask for because we're first generation in everything we do.
Got it.
I
got
wanted,
it, got it.
I was feverishly, I want to ask you about a will, living trust, and that whole thing. I want to, which is such an important conversation. But I was feverishly before the break looking for this statistic when you said that blew my mind. And I wanted to ask your feedback on it. Maybe when we come back from the break, 2.6 million Black businesses, but 2.5 million have one employee, meaning it's just them. With an average revenue of $110,000. It just seems clearly one of the things it takes to start a full-fledged business where you're employing people is it takes resources and revenue. So can you talk about that when we come back from the break? We're coming in under the 8 ball. So how do you get the revenue to be, what resources are available for being able to start your business?
Hold that thought, LaRese. Think on it. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining. We Got Issues, 9-10 a.m. The Superstation. We'll be right back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Yes, yes, yes. And today our guest is Mr. LaRese Purnell. He owns an accounting firm, taxes, payroll. I mean, he will tell us all that his services offer. We also want to hear about your restaurant in a minute and how people can reach you. But go ahead and answer Caterina's question before we went to break.
I just want to make sure this won't get me uninvited next time the way I'm going to answer this, Caterina. Don't take me off the list. Don't unfollow me. No. But seriously, I talked about something earlier when I talked about our spending power being $1.3 trillion as a community, that our dollar only stays in our community less than 3 hours, Asian community up to 21 days. So we don't even keep our money, in our communities long enough for it to make impact. But the thing that I want to say is we go to Walmart, and we, it's 2 registers, that are open. The other 21 are closed. and you're in a line all the way back to the kids section, and you stand in line, taking pictures, hashtagging, I'm at my favorite store, and you keep going back with no complaints, about service. You go into a black business, one thing goes wrong, you hate black businesses. They have the worst service, but you don't realize that one employee is a cashier. She's the marketer. She's the developer. She's cooking. She's cleaning. She's HR. She's everything to her business, he or she. And we don't give them a second chance. So sometimes we're harder on our businesses than we should be because we're not hard on corporate America. You go to banks, you put every dollar you've made your entire career, you go to buy a house, they tell you no, and you still keep your money there. So the same effort that you put into businesses outside our community, you should put them in our community as well. Put that same effort, and I promise you, those businesses will be able to grow. And then the last thing I'll say for business owners that may be listening, there's 4 things I break down a business. Either you're a hobby, you're a job, or you're a business, or you're an enterprise. Like they say, it's levels to this. And a lot of people that are running businesses, it's really a hobby. They're not making money. And there's a tax rule that's called the hobby rule. You ain't made money in 5 years, it's probably a hobby. You got to ask yourself a little differently what you should be doing. Then you've created a job where you could have did the same or made more impact working for somebody. So again, I would just challenge us all, give black businesses another chance. Spend your money, go back to your community. I always challenge when I'm speaking, don't get in your fancy cars, go into your big suburban homes and leave your community in your rearview mirror. Because a lot of those businesses don't exist in your communities that once we make it, we move to. So just keep that in mind.
I'm looking for a mic I could drop. Okay. I'm looking for a microphone. I was like, I know I got my
And you know what,
LaRese,
I wanted to add to that because I think that is so crucial and that is so important because sometimes, when we have Black entrepreneurs or people that may do work for us and it doesn't turn out quite the way we want to, it's real easy to use a broad brush and paint all the other businesses the same way. I was thinking, when my husband and I moved out of the city into the suburb, I absolutely love my dentist who just happened to be Black. And I totally believe in supporting Black businesses. And, sometimes the easiest thing to do is to find another person in your community because you don't want to take the time to drive the extra miles to go to that business. But I made a decision that, it would have been easier for me to find a not Black, but another dentist in my community who probably wouldn't have been African American. But I made a decision that I was going to continue to go there, even though it took me out of the way because number one, she was Black. Number two, she was an awesome dentist. So I think sometimes we have to make this decision to say, I'm not going to look for something that's more comfortable. I want to continue to support a Black business, especially when they give you great service.
Absolutely. And now this wasn't a commercial to support people who do bad business. But one thing I learned from some of my Jewish counterparts, that money don't leave that community. When they make money, it circulates through their community. It's almost like it's not an option. The problem with when we got desegregated is we got options. Right. When we were segregated, we didn't have options. That's when you had the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, where you had the Black dollars on the same block as a Black pharmacy, the Black grocery store, the Black cleaners. But when we started to spread, we had options. We lost our identity, our love and passion for our community. So again, it's like, was it a good thing or was it a bad thing? But again, we just got to come back and make sure that we're being intentional. And then I asked the listeners, outside of the restaurants you support, outside of the salon or the barber you go to, name 10 other Black businesses that you support. Because everybody got a Black barber, Black salon stylist, a Black restaurant. We do that. When I'm in Detroit, I'm going to hit the Black restaurants I know. I know the Black barbers that's popping out there. So I'm going to roll up on them. So that's common. But like you said, Lady Crisette, do you have a Black doctor? Do you have a Black dentist? Is your accountant
Right.
black? Is your lawyer black? You know, so be more intentional. Is the architect, the guy who's doing the renovations of your house, is he a black company? Is your landscaper black? Like, let's really talk about that to be more intentional, you know, and make more effort. That's all we got to do.
Yeah, and effort is what it takes. LaRese, I was born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Grew up on Greenwood. My grandfather was the youngest. My grandfather was the youngest entrepreneur on Black Wall Street in 1921.
Wow.
Yes. And so when we grew up, the funeral home, the grocery store, the everything we needed, the movie, everything was right there in our community. And so when you talk about that dollar stay in the community, that dollar stay in the community. And so I'm so grateful just to have the pride, the understanding that it can happen, but you must make it happen. And desegregation just tore our city apart. Tulsa is nothing like it used to be because they came through urban removal, removed everything, separated everything, and left us high and dry. So now we're trying to put those cornerstones back, but it's a tough road. When we talk about, but I think being intentional, having a hard focus, and just not shopping for convenience, but knowing that when you shop in the Black community, you know where your money's going. You know what you're building. Like you say, we stand in the line in Walmart, they could care less about us, honestly.
Right.
They could care less about us. So we do have to be more intentional. Thank you for that message. Top 3 to 5 keys to financial literacy. What would you give the people?
Power 5. If you want to create, you know, a strong financial foundation, you need a Power 5. You know, you don't hire a mechanic if you need heart surgery. So you hire and you pay people to solve problems and to do what they do. So if you want to create that foundation, the Power 5 includes your accountant, your lawyer, your banker, your insurance broker, and your financial advisor. Those are the 5 people that will help you create wealth. And you want to make sure you like them all. Don't ever let somebody handle your money you don't like them. You gotta. That's the first thing. You know, that goes to marriage, you know, dating and all that. We get into that, but at least like them first, you know. So it's the same thing with your money. Make sure you like them, and then make sure when you're evaluating them that you Google them. You Google them to make sure that they don't have any error or omissions or any issues with fraud. So they have a good reputation. Google reviews are good. And then you make sure you ask around. But that would be one thing. The other thing is when we lose a business in our community, we don't just lose the business. In most cases, as Black people, when we start a business, we take out our 401k, clean it out for that. We use all of our savings. So when that business closed, we lose everything and we have to restart our family's legacy. So again, making sure that you hire those people to help you create a strong financial foundation. That's imperative. The accountant is a toilet paper of your business. We're one of the only communities when we started, like, I'll get to that. I can't afford that. They're too expensive. But either you pay now or you pay later, but you're going to pay. And I always tell people the 3 letters that will make you pay a lot more than me is the IRS. So again, I would just say to you all, create that strong financial foundation. Make sure you have those financials. Make sure you're making data-driven decisions. Make sure you have a business plan. And you know, that sounds cliche. It's like telling people to have a budget in place. And less than 5% of Americans actually have a budget in place. But the reality is a plan, a wish without a plan is just a dream. So to me, it's like you got to make sure that you have a plan, have the blueprint to your future. So that's just a couple things that I would think that, you know, I would like to share with everybody out there listening.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. It says that I was reading in research that there are more than 2 million Black-owned businesses in the United States. Worldwide Technology is the largest Black-owned business in the country. That was surprising. Black-owned businesses, well, you gave us that number. The most popular category for Black-owned business, well, they say the largest is Worldwide Technology, but the most popular category for Black-owned businesses is healthcare. Healthcare. New York has the greatest number of Black-owned businesses in the country. Washington, D.C. has the highest percentage of Black-owned businesses. 70% of Black business owners, they say, are happy with their business. 58% of Black business owners said their business's financial health is at risk or distressed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, tell us this, how do we rebound from all the distress from the pandemic? How are you advising businesses? What are you seeing out there?
So all of us, we all look blessed on this call. We probably know a banker we can call. And well, we have to understand that most people that look like us didn't have access. The pandemic should have showed us when the banks closed their doors, our community were the last to have access. That's why the PPP that they had out there and the different resources the government, the SBA had out there, most Black people had a challenge getting access to it because they didn't have an account. They hadn't filed their taxes in years. They had no financial structure. They couldn't provide financial statements. And so one is, that's why I go back to that Power of Five. We have to create relationships. When people interview me, I tell them that I went away from being an accounting firm during the pandemic. I became the respirator to businesses in our community. I was that access point when they didn't have no access to call and say, LaRese, how do we get through this? How do we, keep our businesses open? How do we create financial statements? So again, put people in position to do what you can't do, do because you don't have the capacity or it's not your area. People get paid to solve problems and to make sure that you can get to that next level.
All right, we'll be back. You are talking to us. You are giving us some education, my brother, this evening. You're listening to 9 a.m., the Superstation. We got issues with the girlfriends and our new friend, LaRese Purnell. We'll be right back. goodness. Here we are. Here we are. The last 10 minutes or so of our show. Time flies when you're having fun. It's amazing how quickly this time goes. We're blessed to have such amazing talent, such brilliant minds who visit, stop by. We always have great guests, and we're grateful for that. So, LaRese, we are talking financial literacy. We are talking entrepreneurship. It takes a lot. When you're an entrepreneur, you get up earlier than most, you stay up later than most, you got a lot of people pulling at you. I want to know how you keep yourself excited about life, excited about the work you do. How do you replenish, refuel yourself, and tell the audience how they can reach you? Someone may be looking for an accountant for their business. You also have a restaurant in the Cleveland area. Tell us about that as well.
Yeah. So you can reach us you can call our number 216-800-9021, or you can go to CLE Consulting Firm, CLE like Cleveland, and reach us on social media at CLE Consulting Firm as well. You can follow me at LaRese Purnell on all social channels, and keep up with the work that we do. But what keeps me motivated is the change that we're able to make and that we're able to take people along the journey. And for me, this accounting firm is not just about the clients, but I have 18 other people that look like us. So I'm able to create and develop 18 Black financial and accounting professionals. I know what it is to go to corporate America and to be one of very many out of thousands. And know how you're treated every day. So I've created a culture that creates, leadership. We're able to develop people to be the best them. So for me, it's bigger than that. Then, of course, if you employ anybody, knowing that you have the responsibility of their families, so it makes you it motivates you to work hard, not just for your family, but you understand that you're responsible for their families as well. But again, it's about the community impact for me. Black Box Fix. We're a Creole cuisine restaurant. We're a gourmet sandwich shop. We're located in Columbus, Ohio as well, in Easton. So if you're ever down in Easton and Columbus, come check us out. But we're right in Legacy Village in Cleveland, in Lyndhurst by Beechwood Mall. Stop in and see us. We have very trendy food. People love it when they come. We get good reviews. Been 5 years in business next month, and we still get lines every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The place is packed. So again, we're grateful and thankful. And let me say this, because I haven't said it much through, but I give God all the glory for everything that He does, and the vision that He gives me, the resources He gives me, the energy He gives me. My staff's like, I don't know where you get the energy from, but it's all through Him. Just everything He provides and the support and resources He gives me to do the work. But I have to say this, Lady Crisette, Caterina, Sabrina, because I have to make sure I leave you with this. I can't go on any call and not mention, our community, we look good, but we're not good. I gave you some statistics. We're riding around in our Land Rovers, but we still have landlords. We're driving the Range Rover and we still renting. We go to Saks and we don't own stocks. So the only way we're going to change is we have to refocus our dollars. And I don't care if you're a lawyer, listen to me. I don't care if you're a pastor, listen to me. I don't care if you're an NFL, listen to me. Less than 7% of our community, and that includes everybody at every level, will be ready for retirement. So the question I'll ask you as well is, will you leave bills or benefits? If you were to pass away today, what are you going to leave your family? Will you leave a legacy? The last thing that you can transfer wealth is with life insurance. I'm not on here because I sell life insurance, but I know that other people, we bring Jordans to the baby shower. They bring bonds and life insurance. So again, it's all on what you want to transfer.
That's right.
And I would just challenge you guys,
That's so
we
good.
do baby showers. We do, wedding showers. But when is the last time you did a money shower with your girls on a Sunday? When's the last time you brought your family together for Sunday dinner and you made that the new table talk at Sunday dinner? Hey, I tell people, you eat macaroni and cheese, you eating greens, you eating cornbread. You realize what those things have in common? Cornbread, bread, money, greens, money, macaroni and cheese is money. So again, just make that the new table talk, y'all. And I just want to make sure I just, encourage everybody. We got to build wealth. We got too much power. The 16th largest from a GDP perspective, $1.3 trillion is as a community from a spending perspective.
Mm,
Can you say your number
so
more
good.
slowly? I'm trying to catch it in the chat and on the radio.
I'm sorry. 216-800-9021. And we do taxes in 48 different states. We have clients all throughout the country. I travel probably 4 months out the year to go see clients. So don't think because we're just in Cleveland. The good thing about the good old worldwide net, we can travel and be anywhere in the country and jump on Zoom. So don't hesitate to reach out. And what we do through taxes is we create wealth. So one of the biggest areas that we leave wealth on the table is through taxes, because we're trained just to pay the bill because we scared of the IRS. You ever heard Jay-Z rap? Jay-Z said, I don't pay no taxes. I let my account handle that. You see Amazon made $20 billion and paid zero in taxes because what it was, they didn't do nothing illegal. What they did was they used tax law. So hire, again, someone who knows what they're doing so that they can take advantage of the tax laws that you're just unaware of that are out there and exist to help you and your family.
Powerful.
That is so awesome.
Oh my
So
goodness,
good, so
that's
good.
so good, so good. Did girlfriends have a question? Because I got a lot of them. Y'all got questions?
I know. I just wanted to see it. Can you hit on a will versus a living trust? Can you hit on that at all, or is that totally for your lawyer?
No. So I can give it from a life perspective. Let me throw something out. Private Family Foundation. Write that down, everybody listen. Private Family Foundation. When we talk about tax advantages, because we've never been taught that, what we can do with that. So when you talk to your accountant, your lawyer, they're gonna say who you've been talking to, but it's something you want to consider. But a will is something everybody should have in place. The pandemic should have taught you something. If your family member becomes incapacitated, what is going to be your directives for your family? What you don't do, and it's all y'all listening out there that's scared to talk about death. Stop being afraid and putting your family in predicaments where they may not talk to each other for the rest of their lives because of your Rolex watch, because of your fur coat, because of mama had a car paid off and now, or the family fight because one daughter is Muslim, the other one is Jewish or Catholic, and the other one is Baptist. And now they fighting about where they're going to marry or bury you. So again, put that stuff in order and make sure you create it and share it with somebody. Don't hide it under the bed and nobody knows where to find it. Make sure you get access to it as well.
Private Family Foundation.
Yes.
That's it, right? We got it.
You got to call me for more information.
We sure will. We sure will. LaRese, it's been
Part
good.
two.
We got you. We are coming back. Okay, go ahead.
Tomorrow's show, the guest is so riveting. We're going to be talking about someone who escaped human trafficking and prostitution. You have got to hear her story. Tune in tomorrow.
All right. It's been real, you guys. It's the Force of Friendship. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. LaRese, you were awesome. Come again. Take care.
Part two.
Bye-bye.
Part two.
Yeah. Part 2, part 3, part 4.
Hold on, LaRese.